Yeah, it's huge. I mean, CAA football games are hard enough to win as it is, let alone on the road. And that was a big opportunity for us in that spot. And so, really excited about how our guys responded. Felt like we took some steps in some places to be able to play connected football, both offensively and defensively, and kind of win the momentum battle that we talked about going into the game. We felt like that was something important for us to play connected. Early we really didn't get that done. We had two really good drives down there in the first half and the first quarter, and we walk out of there, miss a field goal, and then not able. Then we get a field goal. So in two drives, we had opportunities to score touchdowns, missed those opportunities. Defense did a great job, kept us in the fight in the first half. And then third quarter, we rally off a 21-0 third quarter, which allowed us to kind of keep going right there.
Let's start with that offense, and the number obviously that jumps out is 301 yards out of the running game led by our offensive player of the week and JJ Cowan. What enabled you to have so much success doing that?
Yeah, those guys practice that way all week. They've been practicing way a couple weeks now in a row in that spot, and so we knew when we got this job 2 years ago that we had to be able to run the football in the CAA to win football games, right? And that was something that we really worked hard in our recruiting of football players, that we had to recruit football players that could help us run the football in CAA games. And so that was a point of emphasis for us. Man, I thought our running backs ran really, really hard, and not just one running back. I mean, JJ had a great day, over 100 yards rushing, three touchdowns. But you look at those other two. I mean, Ethan Lawrence, I think, averaged 8.9 yards a rush on 9 carries, right? And then Naeem Kearney did a great job as well in those spots. And so, coupled with the offensive line play, I think that was a big aspect of it for us. That was exciting for us to be able to see here at Campbell.
Mike Chandler put a little more under center than he has in past weeks. Was that just the nature of the game, or what was went into that decision?
Yeah, Cam got banged up in the first quarter, our quarterback in that spot, and Mike's obviously played quarterback. Mike's played a little bit of everything. Felt like Mike gave us the best opportunity to win when Cam got banged up a little bit. And man, you look at him, and he just continues to make plays, and he able to do it with his arm. He made some critical third down conversions for us. That allowed us to keep going. And then, the one thing you don't see on all the Reed stuff is he takes so much attention to himself. He's going to lighten some things up for some of those zone reads that we're able to hit this past week. And so just the influence of Mike is big for us.
Defensively, the numbers are equally as impressive: 5 sacks and 11 tackles for loss. You picked off a couple of passes. What did those guys do so well to slow Hampton down?
Yeah, I thought our guys got up front, and we knew Hampton was a really good rushing offense. You look at the stats; they've been able to run the football really, really well. One of the better rushing offenses in the conference, and so that was a challenge that we took. Is we win last year and we weren't able to stop the run very well, and so that's a point of emphasis that we've tried to make. And then getting back into CA play, I think our guys wanted to be able to prove that we can stop the run on defense, and then we got them in some tough situations on third and long that allowed those defensive linemen to now let loose. Had a lot of games that we're able to play to use our athletic ability, which I thought was really good for our coaching staff. Did a great job of getting those guys loose in some spots, and able to create some sacks in that spot. And quarterback pressures, a pick six that the quarterback had to get off his spot and run out of the pocket, and we got a pick six out of the thing. And so the pressure that our defensive line applied was really, really good for us.
Talk about that play from Lakeem, the pick six that kind of really expanded that lead.
Yeah, defensive line did a great job getting the quarterback off his spot. He had to step up and break the pocket, and he's moving on the run. Numbers always talk about if you get a quarterback off his spot, his percentage completion goes way down in that spot, and that's what it was. Lakeem did a great job. And then, he's from Virginia Beach, and so he was going home on this game, and so he had a ton of people there, super excited for him to get that opportunity. Those neat things about college football that are really cool to be able to see is, yeah, pick six really cool, but he got to do it in front of friends and family, his high school coaches. I didn't know if we're going to get him back after his celebration in that spot. We were trying to get him back in that spot, but really excited for him. And that's a kid that stuck with us too, right? He was here before when we got here, and he stuck with what we're doing as a program. He's bought into what we're doing, and for him to have that success, that was really cool for him.
Another guy who had a big day. Well, first of all, Logan Leverman, who also is not from too far away, 10
Yep.
tackles, but Ashton Miller, 7 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks. Just talk about the afternoon he was able to have for you.
Yeah, Ashton's a dynamic player, and Ashton's just continuing to get better. And he transferred in to us this last year, and he just progresses each week. And the focus that we talked about holistically as a team is do your job. Just do your job and trust your teammates to do their job. And some of those sacks Ashton caused. That he didn't get the sack, but he caused the sack. And then some of those sacks that he got, he didn't necessarily cause, but he got the sack. And that's how those guys got to work together and complement off each other. But man, those guys are playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Get to come back home on Saturday, another tough challenge and always tough New Hampshire team as you started to dig into them a little bit. What are some of the challenges they present?
Yeah, I mean, you hit a nail on the head, right? I mean, you pull up the film, their last two games are Villanova and Rhode Island, which we know what Rhode Island looks like. We've seen that aspect. They've had two back-to-back really tough CAA football games that they've had opportunities to be able to win. I know, Coach wants his guys to be able to win those games, right? And so for us, it's going to come down to CAA football. We got to be able to stop the run and eliminate those plays. They're physical on both offensive and defensive line. They're physical, tough, hard-nosed kids that are really athletic. And that's one of the things I think that'll surprise you when you turn on the film is how athletic they are on the edges and how fast they are. Man, it's going to be a really big challenge for us. We're excited to be able to get them here at home. Get them down south. It's supposed to be about 85, so it wouldn't hurt our feelings if it got a little hotter. That'd be all right by us. But we're excited for the opportunity to be able to compete. Right now we're sitting 2-1 in conference play. We feel very fortunate to be sitting at 2-1, and the only thing we're really focused on is how do we find a way to get to 3-1 this week.
What impressed you about the little different type of quarterback than they've had in Matt Vez, a guy who seems to be as comfortable out of the pocket as he is in?
Yeah, I mean, you turn on the Villanova game they played 2 weeks ago, and he has an explosive run in the first quarter that makes it really dynamic, and it's hard to defend, right? Like when that guy can go the distance like he can and be able to extend plays, man, that puts stress on your defense in that spot. Luckily, our guys have seen some mobile quarterbacks from our offense all camp and all year. But yeah, it's tremendously difficult when that quarterback can extend plays and not just take off and run and scramble, but extend plays and be able to be a part of the quarterback run game. It makes you play 11 on 11, and it sounds simple, but man, it's a lot easier in the run game when you play 11 on 10 versus that guy that can pull the ball and be able to go the distance, and he's quick enough to be able to go do that as well.
Before I let you go, we talked last week about how difficult of a schedule you guys played in the first half with the two FBS games and some of the non-conference games to get a win on the road and be 2-1 in the conference. How much did that win kind of give you some momentum here going in the second half?
Well, we'll see, right? I mean, we still see how it works in that spot. It's just one win. We're excited about the one win, but we've got to be able to go reproduce that again, and that's the challenge of college football. Is you got to be able to move past win, lose, or draw the last week. You got to move past, and you got to recreate it again the next week. And New Hampshire's coming in here, and they're going to be a really good football team. It's going to be a big challenge for us, and so it's the process of learning how to win, and it's not just learning how to win on Saturday, but it's learning how to win on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And that's what we're learning here at Campbell. I'm excited about what our guys have been able to do. Thought this past week there's some really good characteristics of winning football teams to be able to feed off each other. I thought we brought our own energy in spots that sometimes it's hard to do, but they came out ready to play, and that's what we got to be able to duplicate. That same week of practice that we had last week, we got to be able to duplicate that this week.
All right, Braxton, thanks so much for the time today.